with special guests. There's some news, a lot of things going on in their world right now. Of course, Jake Paul and his business partner, Nikisa Badarian, co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions. So Wednesday, Jake, you announced on social media that you had sent the termination letter to Tommy Fury. That fight, August 6th, MSG, that was scheduled, is no longer happening. Can you explain exactly what happened?
Yeah, basically, this is typical Tommy Fury behavior of pulling out of fights, being scared to fight, coming up with any excuse possible. About a week ago, he apparently went to the London Heathrow Airport and was denied access into the United States. And then after that, basically went radio silent. All he had to do was go to the embassy. We didn't hear from him. His team didn't hear from him. And he made no effort to try and get his visa to enter into the United States to make the fight happen. I said, I'll give you until Wednesday to figure this out, and didn't hear from him at all. There was no effort put in. I personally DM'd him saying, yo, I have people ready to get you your visa inside the embassy. I have the best lawyers. He didn't, look at my DM, and normally he looks at all of my DMs that I send him. He replies to all my stories. And so he literally went into hiding and had to send him the termination notice.
Okay, so I want to ask you this, and maybe Nikisa can chime in too. So he gets caught up at London Heathrow Airport.
My bad, I don't know what happened. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Market Monday for ESPN back
of him getting a simple.
Are we still live?
He sees me putting people down. He knows how strong, powerful I am. And quite frankly, I don't think he got denied entry into the United States.
Yeah, Jake can kind of speak to. We understand he was caught, stopped at London Heathrow Airport, but we have no evidence of that. And Jake can speak to kind of how he views that.
Yeah, we don't even know if that actually happened, right? You have to think he's one of UK's biggest stars. And he went to an airport and there's no pictures of him there. There's no footage of him there. There's nothing. And he was apparently there for the whole entire day trying to figure it out. Apparently, we don't even know if he actually got denied entry into the United States.
Okay, so that's kind of different than what, of course, his team has been saying. So if he didn't do that, what do you?
It says my internet is buffering. I don't know what's going on. Give me 1 minute. Let me go check and see what's going on. I have no clue what it could possibly be. We're all good over here. Everything's on. My cable's on a little bit of the fritz. All right, can you guys hear me? How we doing? I don't know what just happened to my cable in the background. Oh no, everything's on. Are y'all messing with me? It's all good now? All right. Well, anyway, I guess we're going to have to start all over. Welcome for the next hour or so. We got some boxing to talk about. Earlier today, I covered the Derek Chisora and Kubrat Pulev final press conference. Tomorrow's the weigh-in for their fight. It's going to take place this Saturday, July the 9th on The Zone. On that card, you're going to have Israel Madrimov versus Michel Soro 2. Fabio Wardley versus a Kingsley eBay. And you have a Felix Cash versus a Alexander Vaughn. Meh. Or Vaughn Alexander, if I'm pronouncing it right. But, that's a card where I'm going to rate it about like a C. It's something to keep you busy. It's going to be fun. The main event is Derek Chisora versus Pulev. So somebody's probably going to get knocked out. And it's probably going to be a career match for one of those guys. Also, earlier today, I covered the Showtime. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we got different topics to talk about than the fights that are happening this weekend. So if you want to know about the fights that are happening this weekend, I did content on that earlier today. And that was Mark Magsayo, WBC 126-pound champion, who's taking on Ray Vargas in his second fight officially at 126. And that's going to headline Showtime here in the States at 9 p.m. Eastern. On the undercard, you're going to have Brandon Figueroa, who's coming off of I don't know if he had a fight after he I don't remember if he had a fight after he lost to Stephen Fulton or not, but basically he's back fighting at 126 against Carlos Castro. And on the press conference, it looks like PBC is building Brandon Figueroa to fight the winner of Ray Vargas, Mark Magsayo, and then you got Frank Martin taking on Jackson Marinez on the undercard. So that's the fights of the weekend. I've already covered those, talked about those in multiple videos this week. I did my part, media part, covered those joints, networks, all that. You know, even if you want to see the boxing schedule, I put everything down below in the description box. So let's just get through, you know, the particulars first, and then we're going to go talk about some boxing. So I'm starting a podcast. I'm probably going to shoot. I was supposed to shoot my first episodes this week, but I'm going to release 4 at a time. But I was sick last week, so basically I'm about 6-7 days behind. But I'm going for a podcast that's different from what you normally get from the podcast that I listen to so far. And it's going to be high production quality. As you can see in my videos, I take pride in my platform being the only channel that can bring you, even though I get shit for it all the time, it's legal, but bringing you press conferences, interactive, where you get to talk and chat, or, you know, chat and be yourself, and, you know, no blocking and none of that bullshit. And also making sure we're giving you credible news, because I do send people out into the field, like we had Big J, as credentialed media. You know, thank you to all involved, Duco Events, Top Rank, Main Event. You know, we send Big J as media to Kimbosos Haney. You know, my other colleague, he's supposed to be going to Danny Garcia versus Jose Benavidez. He was also at Artur Beterbiev and Joe Smith Jr. So we slowly getting back out there into the media. Me personally, I've been saying for close to a year now, well, actually since the country and the world started opening back up and they lifted the vaccine mandates and all that crap, that I was going to start getting back out to events and getting to a fight. I don't know what fight I'm going to go to, but definitely before the end of this year, I'm going to get to an event. You know, probably, I mean, I was thinking about going to Taylor versus Serrano. And what was the other fight I was thinking about going to? I don't remember, but if I go to another fight, Tank Davis versus Rolly. But I don't know. I just don't have the same feeling about going to fights anymore, you know? It just don't really, you know, like, you know, I don't, like, for one, I got social anxiety, but going to fights don't really, you know, impress me. And I'm not one to go take pictures. My colleagues have been telling me, you know, like, you meeting all these celebrities and all these boxers, you don't take no pictures, you know, take them for your legacy, take them for your family, you know, just to have them. And it's never been me. But anyway, the first topic we're going to talk about is this right here on the screen: Jake Paul versus Hasim Rahman Jr. It is official. Well, not official as far as we got a press release and tickets are on sale and whatnot, but it's looking like it's going to happen August the 6th at Madison Square Garden on Showtime pay-per-view. Now, on paper, you would think that, now we're going to go on some conspiracy theory shit here, all right? On paper, you would think that, okay, Hasim Rahman 12-1, and I got some clips we're going to play for you. 12-1 with 6 KOs, 31 years old, the son of former heavyweight champion, upset Lennox Lewis, Hasim Rahman. He competes normally at heavyweight, so this fight will be taking place at cruiserweight. I wonder how much he's going to have to cut down, because his last fight back in March, he weighed in at 225. So yeah, you're going to drink, you know. So what's going to be, if this is the fight that's going to happen, what's going to be the weight? That's going to be something to talk about, right? What's the weight going to be? Because he's never weighed any less than 211, 213. But 224, that's something, you know, to talk about. But here, these guys have sparred before in the past. Did I pull up the clip? So apparently he's worked several camps with Jake Paul. And I'm guessing that, you know, it must be something that Jake Paul sees, kind of like Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence. What does he see to where he feels he can beat this heavyweight boxer?
I know when someone's up for something. You want to talk shit to a pro athlete? Because really I'm coming here and knock your ass out. That's what I really do. You started on the talking. I'm going to finish it. I know how that man on his name. Now who the beast? I should have known. Now who the beast? Because I was a bitch a minute ago. What's up? Here, take the gloves off. I'd be mad too. I'm trying to bring that man professional work. He's about to get wrestled. I'm gonna say this one time real nice. Get that camera on my face, bro.
I don't know. So they got a little bit of a history. But anyway, let's go listen to what Jake Paul had to say about this was earlier today on ESPN. And he's still keeping the damn it, what happened to my chat? He's still keeping, I don't know what's going on with this damn thing. Let me see if I can fix it. He's still keeping options open for him to possibly fight Tommy Fury in the future. Seems as though he really wants that fight. But one thing I don't understand is why they're saying, okay, well, let me let this play. It's from ESPN earlier. We can't play the whole clip, but I can let you listen to it because that's the last thing I need is to get, you know, a damn copyright strike. So once again, if you're here, thanks for watching. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. This is going to be my streaming time, so let me explain it to you. Unless there's a big fight, I'm going to be streaming on Tuesdays at 6 p.m., Thursdays at 6 p.m., Fridays at 6 p.m., Saturdays, I'm going to be streaming during the main event of the cards. So if there's a midday card, you know, I'm going to be streaming during the main event, you know, doing some main event commentary. So, for example, on Friday, I'm going to be here at about 4:30 p.m. Eastern, somewhere between, you know, 4:30 and 5:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be streaming during the main we're going to be streaming during the main event of Kubrat, Pulev, Chisora 2. And, you know, commentary, brief, legal, fair use highlights. They're legal. What I'm doing is legal. I'll sue your ass. I'm tired of suing people. All right. And then later on in the night, we're going to be streaming during the Showtime main event, which is going to be Magsayo versus Vargas. So that's going to be on Saturday. And then it's going to be a little post-fight show. If there's a big major fight, then we'll be streaming on a post-fight show, you know, streaming during the main event. And then on Mondays, we will do a stream. And on Tuesdays, then Thursday, Friday. All right. So we're getting older now. You know, I'm 38 years old. You know, I've been covering boxing on YouTube and shit for a long time. We did a lot of amazing things. And now it's time to get like a really defined set schedule. So anyway, let's go listen to Jake Paul. And doesn't his manager look, I said this before, I don't know what movie it is, but he remind me like of like one of the movie villains that's like good with knives. Like he just like got the double knife holsters under his hoodie and all these tribal tattoos and shit and scars. Maybe I watch too many movies. I have a very vivid imagination. But don't he look like one of them dudes? The manager dude.
Market Monday for ESPN back with you today with special guests. There's some news, a lot of things going on in their world right now. Of course, Jake Paul and his business partner, Badarian, co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions. So Wednesday, Jake, you announced on social media that you had sent a termination letter to Tommy Fury. That fight, August 6th, MSG, that was scheduled, is no longer happening. Can you explain exactly what happened?
Yeah, basically, this is typical Tommy Fury behavior of pulling out of fights, being scared to fight, coming up with any excuse possible. About a week ago, he apparently went to the London Heathrow airport and was denied access into the United States. And then after that, basically went radio silent. All he had to do was go to the embassy. We didn't hear from him. His team didn't hear from him. And he made no effort to try and get his visa to enter into the United States to make the fight happen. I said, I'll give you until Wednesday to figure this out, and didn't hear from him at all. There was no effort put in. I personally DM'd him saying, yo, I have people ready to get you your visa inside the embassy. I have the best lawyers. He didn't look at my DM, and normally he looks at all of my DMs that I send him.
He do look Persian, don't he?
So he literally went into hiding and had to send him the termination notice.
Okay, so I want to ask you this, and maybe Nikisa can chime in too. So he gets caught up at London Heathrow Airport. Of course, he was going to be coming to the press conference that you guys have scheduled at MSG to promote the fight.
Mark, let me just stop you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Jake can kind of speak to. We understand he was stopped at London Heathrow Airport, but we have no evidence of that. And Jake can speak to kind of how he views that.
Like we don't even know if that actually happened, right? You have to think he's one of UK's biggest stars, and he went to an airport and there's no pictures of him there. There's no footage of him there. There's nothing. And he was apparently there for the whole entire day trying to figure it out. Apparently, we don't even know if he actually got denied entry into the United States.
Okay, so that's kind of different.
Now let's stop right there. It's no secret that Tyson Fury has been having issues getting into the United States, and any fighter associated with the now defunct MTK Global and the MTK Global founder and former head Daniel Kinahan, the alleged crime drug Irish mobster. It's reported that it's about a list of 600 or so individuals that are linked to him, and a good significant amount are in boxing, that they've been hit with travel bans. They can't travel. And the goal, from what I've researched, and I did a whole 30-minute damn near documentary on it on the channel, no bullshit, like 2 weeks ago. Basically, they're trying to freeze all this guy's assets and freezing and stopping everyone around him from being able to make money. They're hoping that somebody's going to snitch on his whereabouts and lead to him getting arrested. So basically, guys like Tyson Fury, the biggest fighter in his former stable, of MTK, can't travel. Word is reported that he tried to get into the States a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago or so, couldn't get in. Guys like Ben Davison, trainer, can't travel. Rumors are Josh Taylor, one of the reasons why he's been dropping his belts, can't travel. Mick Conlon can't travel. The father of Tommy and Tyson Fury, here, let me see if I can pull it up real quick for you, also did release something on social media a couple of weeks ago, and I did a video basically confirming, listen, you can't travel, Tommy wasn't MTK, that is true. I did try to find some links to see if Tommy was MTK, but if he, do you not think that if he could travel that he wouldn't? I mean, honestly, so something tells me that he really can't travel because, of Tyson Fury, for whatever the reason may be. Now, let me see if I can find this video that I uploaded. Hopefully it's not too far down the list, where you had Peter Fury talking about it, that they can't travel. But yeah, man, it's a damn shame, because I did want to see the fight. But at the same time, I do look at what I've learned from Hasim Rahman Jr., that he's better than Tommy Fury. It's just that he's not the name Tommy Fury. You see what I'm saying? So they wanted that Fury name, meaning Jake Paul and his team. And he's even going to say that his manager, the Persian dude, the Persian-looking dude, Nikisa, whatever. I'm not saying he's Persian. Let me stop being disrespectful. But basically saying, that they would double back around to fight him if they, if it made sense. And that if the fight was to happen in the UK, here it is right here. This is what he said last week, a couple weeks ago.
Because all us, I'll be honest with you, at the minute.
Now listen to him. Listen to him. This is Peter Fury. This was on June the 22nd. By the way, follow me on Twitter. The links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Boom, there you go. How about that? So anyway, let me get back to, oh, damn it, hold on. I opened up something wrong. Close that out. All right, there we go. So anyway, let's go back.
Because all us, I'll be honest with you, at the minute are suspended. I'm banned for life. I can't get here at all. Tyson can't get over there because he's got a few issues at the moment, what he's trying to sort out. So Tommy has got no team, but it's got to be not in America. Because all us, I'll be honest with you, at the minute are suspended. I'm banned for life. I can't get here at all. Tyson can't get over there because he's got a few issues at the moment, what he's trying to sort out. So Tommy has got no team in America.
And that was with the father, Big John Fury, not Peter. I'm sorry if I said Peter. Big John Fury, he already can't travel to the States because rumor has it, I don't know if it's been confirmed, is that he gouged somebody's eyes out. Savage shit. So he can't travel over here. And he already said Tyson, and this video came out, if I'm correct, this video came out and it was taken down from his social media, but it came out before Tyson Fury was stopped at the airport, or allegedly stopped at the airport. So, I hear what, Jake Paul is saying, but I think Jake Paul knows more than he's letting known because his manager is kind of alluding to it. So, for example, let me go back and we're going to listen to it a little bit more.
Yeah, Jake can kind of speak to. We understand he was caught, stopped at London Heathrow.
Now, pay attention carefully to what he's saying. And then he almost said caught, you know, but he pretty much said it. But pay attention. You know, it's like they know that he can't travel, but they're just like, you know, selling like, oh, he's scared. He's scared. You know, like something ain't right here.
Airport, but we have no evidence of that. And Jake can
Yeah.
speak to kind of how he.
Okay, so I want to ask you this, and maybe Nikisa can chime in too. So he gets caught up at London Heathrow Airport. Of course, he was going to be coming to the press conference that you guys have scheduled at MSG to promote the fight.
Mark, let me just stop you.
Yeah,
Let me stop you there. Jake can kind of speak to. We understand he was caught, stopped at London Heathrow Airport, but we have no evidence of that. And Jake can
Yeah.
speak to kind of how he views
Yeah,
that.
like we don't even know if that actually happened, right? You have to think he's one of UK's biggest stars, and he went to an airport and there's no pictures of him there. There's no footage of him there. There's nothing. And he was apparently there for the whole entire day trying to figure it out. Apparently, we don't even know if he actually got denied entry into the United States.
Okay, so that's kind of different than what, of course, his team has been saying. So if he didn't do that, what do you think the situation is? Like if he didn't actually go to the airport and try to get into the country, if he's not being denied in, what is the issue?
The issue is his ball sack not being big enough. You know, like he doesn't have the gonads. He doesn't want the fight. He doesn't want the smoke. You know, he sees me putting people down. He knows how strong, powerful I am. And quite frankly, I don't think they're a stupid family, right? Look what they've done for themselves. And they have a lot of boxing experience, and they go back and look at my fight, and they see that right hand of God. And that's that.
So you guys are under the impression that, you know, maybe there really wasn't any kind of paperwork issue or visa issue, that he just did not want to come to the States and do the fight.
I think there definitely can be a issue of him getting a simple visa into the country, but we certainly didn't get a sense, not from Queensberry and Frank Warren. They were making all the efforts possible to help us with this situation. But we certainly didn't get a sense from Tommy or his personal representatives that they were being diligent in figuring out how to solve this problem for what would be Tommy's biggest payday, you know, times 10 in his career.
So you pay attention to that right there. So they know that there's an issue, but basically they're mad. It's like, yo, show us that you tried everything you can possibly do to fix this. But if they're not letting Tyson Fury into the States, he ain't getting into the States. So, you know, pay attention right there. And play that little bit back, like a little bit.
Issue or visa issue that he just did not want to come to the States and do the fight.
I think there definitely can be a issue of him getting a simple visa into the country, but we certainly didn't get a sense, not from Queensberry and Frank Warren. They were making all the efforts possible to help us with this situation. But we certainly didn't get a sense from Tommy or his personal representatives that they were being diligent in figuring out how to solve this problem for what would be Tommy's biggest payday, you know, times 10 in his career.
He released a statement on Wednesday on social media, and he said that, you know, if the fight moved to, I think he said neutral country, some place that he said he can get into, that he would be down to fight. Has there been any discussion about that at all?
No, I mean, there hasn't. And, you know, of course he's going to say that to save face. You know, in that same message, it said, I'll fight anytime, anyone, any place, except the US, you know, and he's just a joke to me. He's a joke to the boxing community. And at this point in time, there's no reason for me to even try to put on a Tommy Fury.
You think that if he did fight over here in the States, that money would be frozen? You think that would be a possibility? I mean, I wanted to see the fight, but to be honest with you, if I'm really, really being honest, I like this fight better. Now, is it a pay-per-view fight? Hell no. The Tommy Fury fight wasn't a pay-per-view fight. But what are we paying to see? We're paying to see if Hasim Rahman can knock out Jake Paul. Now, the question that a lot of people are asking is like, okay, well, and I've been seeing it on social media, well, this guy has worked in his camp. So what assurances do we have that this motherfucker ain't gonna flop on us? And that he receiving an envelope to go in there and take it easy? You see what I'm saying? You know, like, I'm not one of those conspiracy theorist dudes in boxing. I kind of am, but I'm kind of not. But I don't know. You know, I don't know. That's what the people are saying, and I'm just the voice of the people. I'm not saying this dude will come in the flop. I'm just saying.
I know when someone does something, you want to talk shit to a pro athlete? Because really I'll come in here and knock your ass out. That's what I'll really do. You started on to talking. I'm going to finish it. I ain't gonna let man on his name. Now who the beat? I just want to know now who the beat. Because I was a bitch a minute ago. What's up? Here, take the gloves off. I'd be mad too. I try to bring that man professional work. Oh, he's about to get wrestled. I'm gonna say this one time real nice. Get that camera on my face, bro.
Well, listen, I'm rooting for him. I'm gonna root for the boxer. I'm gonna root for the boxer. You know, I'm not listen because listen, I do not want to see the son of a former world champion get knocked out. You know, Tyron Woodley let us down. Nate Robinson let us down. You know, Ben Askren, don't get me started on him. But this dude, he's supposed to beat Jake Paul. And from what I'm hearing from this interview here, let me go play a little bit of this. Apparently, they didn't want him to fight Hasim Rahman Jr. And also, one of Hasim Rahman's managers or promoters, I don't know if he has multiple, is saying that they haven't heard anything back.
Event.
You know, or, you know, like there's no contract or whatever.
You know, now we've
Hasim Rahman is just a straight up boxer, nowhere near the profile that these other opponents have had. What made you choose him as the opponent and on short notice?
Well, for me, I've just wanted to fight a professional boxer since knocking out Tyron Woodley. And I've been trying to do that since Tommy Fury pulled out the first time. I want to check that off the list. I want to show people that I can knock out a professional boxer. And so Hasim Rahman Jr. is a heavyweight. He's bigger than Tommy Fury, stronger than Tommy Fury. His dad was the heavyweight champion of the world. He has more amateur fights than Tommy Fury. So this is a harder fight, in my opinion. I want to challenge myself. I want to show the fans, yo, this kid is, I'm crazy. I'm literally crazy. There is no reason that I should be taking this fight. Nakisa told me, he's like, I don't think the risk is worth the reward. You know, the risk doesn't justify the reward. And my brother said the same thing to me. He's like, bro, I don't know if you should do this. Like, what if he accidentally knocks you out? Like, you just got knocked out by this kid who no one really knows about. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm crazy. I want to prove to the boxing world that I'm a real dog, which I am. And I'm going to go in there against this 12-1 kid who's bigger than Tommy Fury, faster than Tommy Fury, all of these things. And I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime and just shut everyone up.
And just to be clear, the kid is 31 years old. The kid has real knockout power and has grown up in boxing from the time he was a baby. So what Jake is planning to do here is, in my mind, unheard of for someone at his level. We certainly looked at opponents that were 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, but Jake was adamant that he had to raise the stakes above and beyond Tommy Fury to shut up the naysayers once and for all.
Yeah, I want to ask you that.
All right, we got to move on to the next topic. So basically, for those who don't know, I see Don't Ask Me asked also Jake offered Tommy $500K. Jake Paul said also in this interview that if he would fight in the UK or anywhere, Australia or anywhere, if his guaranteed purse of 15 million was met. So even though he offered $500K, he's saying he wouldn't fight unless he got 15 million. So that right there is also an issue. I'm not taking sides, but if I'm being honest, you know, I do feel that Hasim Rahman is a better fight. You know, so let me know what you think as well. If you think that Hasim Rahman is a better fight than Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is just a name, but from what we've seen from Tommy Fury, he ain't that real, like that good. To where Hasim Rahman Jr., he's got those 6 KOs, and he's a heavyweight. Look at his weight. He fought 224, 215, 224. God, for crying out loud, whatever happened during COVID, he was 269. You know, during, you know, coming off the pandemic, people wouldn't be in the crib. So I'm looking forward to the fight. Now, on pay-per-view, it ain't no pay-per-view fight to me. You know, let's be 100% honest there. But, you know, nonetheless, I'm going to cover it. And also, you know, shout out to Hasim Rahman Jr., you know, getting the chance, because if he knocks out, you know, Jake Paul, he's going viral. You know, he's going to be, you know, this is a good chance for him, you know. Like, he's 31 years old, knock out Jake Paul. He's going to have, you know, people knocking on his door for fights. So I'm hoping he's taking this shit seriously. And I hope there's no bullshit or no shenanigans involved. But anyway, we got to move on to the next topic. Thanks for watching. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. We're going to be here on Tuesday, Thursdays, Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. If there's a big fight like a Canelo Golovkin or, you know, Usyk Joshua, then we'll be here on Mondays at 6 p.m. and Tuesdays. Saturdays, when there's a fight, we're going to be streaming during the main events and during select fights, live fight commentary. But let's move on to the next topic. Something that's been really, really grinding my gears here for some time. And it's about this fight right here. When is it going to happen? And why is everybody lying? What's going on? No, let me know. Do you guys watch that stuff and believe that stuff about, you know, breaking news or whoa, exclamation point. Errol Spence responds to Terence Crawford saying this shit, and it's going to be a 2-fight deal. Oh, Terence Crawford rejected the deal, and, you know, it's going to have to include Castillo Clayton and all kind of bullshit. Here's a Twitter post that Errol Spence posted a couple days ago. I know, this was yesterday, actually, excuse me. So some random black guy, y'all YouTube motherfuckers have made a lot of money off Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. This shit is bad. Y'all post clickbait videos with fake inside sources or old footage. The shit is ridiculous. Y'all need to tighten up for real, for real. What y'all think about that? And then you got people in the comments saying stuff like, you know, they're selling the fight and they're making Spence and Crawford all this money and all this bullshit.
The Truth Spence fight. There was a rumor that it was supposed to be scheduled for October. Now I'm hearing November. Now I'm seeing Terence Bud Crawford pull up in Dallas. What's going on? How come the contract ain't been signed? Who is dragging their feet? Who are we going to place the duck on in this situation?
That's true. Somebody needs the duck. Somebody need the duck. But let me tell you something. Don't nobody know shit. You know, and now you've had Errol Spence come out, you know, and pretty much confirm these motherfuckers don't know shit. You had Terence Crawford's sister post something a couple of weeks ago that motherfuckers don't be knowing shit. So I told y'all before, like, it's a scam. It's always been a scam when they do that shit. They did it with Deontay Wilder. You know, then ran that man name into the mud. Like, they make up this shit, and then they try to act like it's this brotherhood shit, and they helping out the fighter. But in the end of the day, they just line in their pockets. You know, ain't nothing happening with Spence versus Crawford. We don't know. Nobody knows except the fighters. You know, and you think that Errol Spence and Derek James and, you know, Terence Crawford and Bo Mack, they ain't talking to these motherfuckers. Now, what we do know is something is going on. They're trying to get something done. We just don't know who it is. It's got to get done. And my personal thoughts is, and remember, I'm just going into speculation here. You know, Terence Crawford is not a PBC guy. So you would think that things over there could possibly be difficult for him getting the deal that he wants, because Errol Spence is the A side and he's going over there to want to fight one of their guys. And maybe he don't want a 2-fight deal. Maybe, you know, but the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is we don't know. It's all speculation. And, you know, the casual fans eating it up. I said it before. Listen, I said, I've been talking this shit years ago. I'd rather do 1,000 Australian boxing videos with Big J on fucking Sam Solomon before I get up here and whore myself out and do Terence Crawford, Errol Spence videos every day to survive. That ain't no way to live. God, it's burnout. I did that shit with the Mayweather Pacquiao shit on the other channel I was on. I did that shit doing Mayweather Pacquiao videos every day. It made me sick. It made me sick. But listen, the problem I have is this. Like, how do you come on here? And I think we're the only You don't see it happen in mixed martial arts because I dabble over on mixed martial arts YouTube and Twitter. You don't see it happening in the NBA on NBA YouTube. You don't see it happening on NFL YouTube where people just get on here and lie and make a lot of money. So imagine like you have somebody constantly doing videos every day, you know, on NBA YouTube. Yeah. LeBron inching closer to going to Chicago Bulls. You know, dialogue, and they'll show a picture on the thumbnail with LeBron, you know, sitting downtown in fucking Chicago. But it'd be some old shit. It'd be like LeBron had meeting downtown with Chicago Bulls. Or how about the motherfuckers put down Devin Haney reacts or responds. They'll put a picture of Devin Haney next to a microphone and shit, and they'll put like the ESPN joint up there, make it seem like, you know, like the motherfucker really talking to him and shit. I know all the scams. I be watching them. I know all the scams, and they're shameless, bro. They're shameless. Yeah, they do these motherfucking videos. I'm not joking. Like, it started with Wilder. Like, yo, that made a lot of people a lot of money, and now they moved on to Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. Like they bring in their money, you know, and they've been trying to recruit Tank Davis and Devin Haney, but they don't be having it. They don't be having it. So, you know, I want to see the fight. And if you go back and look at my post-fight video of Spence versus Ugas, I said, look, he come back, he beat Ugas. I'm going back to 50-50. It's still a 50-50 fight to me. Like, that Errol Spence is special. Both of them dudes are special. You know, I wanted to see how he was going to come back off of 2 layoffs and then to break Dennis Ugas' face. And then he already broke Kell Brook's face on the other side that Golovkin did. Like, bro. You know, that's a 50-50. But listen, that's my opinion. But one thing I'm not going to sit up here and do, and I'm sorry if we have to get a little, you know, like cuss. I'm not going to sit up here and suck these fathers' cocks. I'm not going to do it. You know, that's dirty money. No. You know, if somebody gonna lose, somebody gonna lose. Like, if I feel somebody gonna win, somebody gonna win. I'm not here thinking like, damn, I need this boxer to win, because if he win, I get to get online and talk all this bullshit and say, like, I told you so. Like, bro. And what you have is you have a lot of these YouTubers who do that. They never really accomplished anything in life, and they never was like popular anywhere or never really did shit. So they get on here and they get to be popular and shit, and then they lose their core values if they ever had anything. And you get on here and, you know, you lie to like thousands and thousands of people. The shit don't make no sense. But as far as I'm concerned, we don't know when the fight's happening. The current rumor right now is that it's going to happen in October. You know, so far, there's no pay-per-view for October. You know? So far, you know? Philly niggas, we different from these YouTubers. What you mean? I hope that's not disrespect. Well, like I said, I'm not coming on here like motherfucking lying for no views. And I got too much legal shit going on to be getting on the internet fucking just making up shit. Like, how can you look people in their face? Or how can you go to boxing events, right? And it's happened. It's been so many times boxers have been called out. I mean, not boxers, media people, not gonna say no names. They'd be saying all this lying ass bullshit online and then actually show up to the events and try to interview the fighters or try to get past the PR people, like the PR people don't be watching the YouTube videos. It's like, bro, you motherfuckers are weird. But that money, man, and you know how the saying goes, that money will have like low level shaking their ass. Like, you know, you'd be surprised what people would do for the fucking dollar, you know, just sell their souls, like for real. But yeah, that shit ain't happening, you know. No, I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm saying we don't know when it's happening. You know, we don't know what the fucking split and none of that bullshit gonna be. Nobody knows nothing except the fighters. You know, there's been a little bit of hints like on Brian Custer, you know, talking about the fight with Danny Garcia. You know, the rumor, and he's with Showtime. We know it's going to be Showtime pay-per-view. You know, October, November, you know, I'm guessing. But if it's in November, I mean, if it's October, you know, we should be hearing something soon because they got to start selling that joint. But both of these fighters don't want to fight nobody else. And it's not like, you know, they can fight anyone else and fans not be pissed the fuck off. Because at the end of the day, Errol Spence is the A side, and it's up to him to make the fight happen. Even though Crawford has to be realistic, but I don't like talking about these motherfucking money. Me, if I had my way, the fight should be 50-50. But when it comes to business, whatever. But by the way, before we wrap up, how well do you think Spence versus Crawford on pay-per-view will do? Is it my gut is telling me 550,000 pay-per-view buys or above. Can it do 800? Is it really that type of fight? I mean, yeah, it'll bring all of us hardcores together. The hardcores, everyone should buy that fight. But how much of a casual appeal will it have? Will casual appeal bring in another 200,000? Basically, my question is, can Spence versus Crawford do 800,000? I know we gonna buy it. The hardcores, or you're a low down son of a bitch if you don't buy it. Yeah, my bad, Big Chop. I'm Bias Boxing. Yeah, I'm from Philly. But I think the fight can do 800, yo. I think, I don't know. 800 a lot, though. In this day and age, 800 a lot. Like, it's not like it was. You can get these streams in crisp-ass high definition with no pop-ups no more. And you can cast that shit to your TV. You know, I don't know, no. You know? I'm thinking 500. I'm thinking it could do 500, 550, 600, 600,000. I know the hardcore should turn up, but sometimes I don't trust y'all hardcore fans, man, because sometimes y'all complain about anything. It'd be a good fight, and y'all be like, I'm not buying that shit. But also gas is high and shit too, and food is high. So that's making a whole hell of a lot of people stream even more. And then you also have to factor in that the undercard is probably going to be some bullshit because the main event is going to take up all the money. And I'm guessing it's safe to say it would be a Vegas fight. That's a Vegas fight because they're going to want whatever site fee. Can it sell out T-Mobile Arena? You know, these are like legitimate questions. I think it can sell out, definitely sell out. As long as they don't get too fucking funky with the tickets, because sometimes they like to do bullshit with the tickets and then have to slash them like dramatically like the last couple of weeks before the fight. Count Drago, Spence Crawford it can hit 1 million? I don't know, bro. In this day and age, streaming is fucked up. And it's not necessarily known if it's going to head to Showtime or not. Me, I wanted Showtime because remember, PBC on Fox is still in the mix. You know, so we don't know what network would get the fight. Now, me personally, I would like it to be on Showtime. You know why Showtime? Is because with Showtime, we get uncut all access, and Showtime never skims when it comes to promotion. Fox, you'll have more bigger, widespread promotion because they now link it in with Fox football and things like that. But I don't know. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. So yeah, we got one more topic to talk about before we get up out of here. And I guess I need to pull up this clip right now. Actually, not a clip. We were supposed to talk about Anthony Joshua, but we're waiting to talk about that tomorrow. Him and Alexander Usyk's fight is going to be on Sky Sports over in the UK, even though Anthony Joshua signed a deal with the Zone. But anyway, in my gut, I got a gut feeling. Now let me tell you something. It's kind of like that feeling I had when I had Canelo losing to Dimitri Bivol and when I had Usyk defeating Anthony Joshua. I stuck to my guns with both of them, and I also had Andy Ruiz defeating Anthony Joshua. I stuck to my guns, but I think this is going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I think Ryan Garcia going to get clipped. Listen, Ryan Garcia got some shit with him. You know, he's exciting when he's in there. His last fight against Emmanuel Tagu, you know, not so much. But he does have a nice, solid skill set. But he doesn't really seem to take boxing seriously. You know, he just want to look pretty and shit for the little fucking Instagram. You know, because that's where all his followers at. If you'll notice something about his Instagram and his Twitter, Twitter don't really fuck with him like that. Twitter be slaughtering his ass. You know, like, yo, what the fuck is up with you? You soft, and calling him mentally weak and all that shit. Instagram, you got all them kids and all them fucking Yu-Gi-Oh players and TikTokers and Pokemon Go's. They all like love him. But as you know, these kids these days don't spend no money or buy shit. So that's why you never really hear when Ryan Garcia fight, oh, it was this major ratings extravaganza on the zone. So many people signed up. Do you see 14-year-olds signing up for the zone? Or 16-year-olds? These motherfuckers be broke. These kids these days be broke and shit. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, let's go look at his resume. 22-0 with 18 KOs. Emmanuel Tagu, okay, new fight. First fight back after his mental layoff. New trainer in Joe Goosen. Luke Campbell, you know, he got his ass knocked down, but then ended up stopping Luke Campbell. Old man Luke Campbell. I'm not going to call him old, but long in the tooth. Francisco Fonseca, former Tank Davis opponent, knocked him out and won. Romero Dunio, that was supposed to be his big. Oh, we got Terence Crawford still on the screen, my bad. That was supposed to be his big step up. Knocked him out and won. But in reality, is that really an impressive resume for you to be like, yo, this guy can compete with Tank Davis? This guy can talk shit about Canelo? I just don't see it. You know, they try to make it there. You know, 23 years old, you know, he does seem to have a little bit of a like nice little skill set. But mentally, I have some concerns. And depending on how you look at it, how do you look at Javier Fortuna, 33 years old, 37-3-1 with 26 KOs? How do you look at Fortuna compared to the other opponents of Ryan Garcia? For example, how would you think that Luke Campbell versus Javier Fortuna would go? That would be a pretty interesting fight. I think I would favor Luke Campbell, but not by much. Is Fortuna a lefty? Southpaw too. I covered his last fight, by the way. I'm against Rafael Hernandez. They had like a party in the ring and shit. Jason Rosario, former WBA IBF champion at 154, was on the card. He lost to Jojo Diaz. And, you know, I'm guessing that's probably what they're going to try to do to him next. Is if Javier Fortuna gets iced by Ryan Garcia, they're going to do Ryan Garcia versus Jojo Diaz. I'm just not confident in Ryan Garcia. Javier Fortuna lost to Robert Easter, though. That right there is, you know, that's telling. That's telling. Well, the fight's going to be on, what's that, July the 16th, next weekend on The Zone. And the undercard, even though it's not listed on BoxRec yet, but I did put it down below in the description box. The boxing schedule for the fights that I'm going to be covering, at least, or the significant fights, is down below in the description box. So let's see. It's going to be Ryan Garcia Fortuna, Alexis Rocha versus Sam Cote, Lamont Roach versus Angel Rodriguez. Not a very good card. But what happens if Ryan Garcia loses? I don't think that he has the mental fortitude to be able to really, you know, like come back from that. You know, some people even said if he loses, he would retire. You know, and it's a shame because a lot of people look at him as like a fighter with a lot of mouth. He talk a lot, and he hasn't really done a lot to really back it up outside of the Instagram followers we keep hearing about. But if he was to beat Javier Fortuna, I think I may rate that as, you know, a better win than Luke Campbell, in my opinion. And then we can expect for him to possibly fight Jojo Diaz. But word on the curb is something's going on where they're really trying to make him versus Tank Davis later on in the year. But with Golden Boy and The Zone and Showtime, You know, it's hard for me to see it happening. You know, because for them two to be able to come together, does Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia do 1 million pay-per-view buys? You know, now does Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, does it do better than Spence versus Crawford? Or how about Canelo versus Golovkin 3? I'm not sure. But only time will tell because he's got to do something. Let me pull up these rankings. Look at 135. By the way, me and Big J did a video a couple of days ago. I'm going to upload tomorrow where we're talking about Haney Kimbosos 2 likely heading to October. And also, Vasil Lomachenko is supposed to be coming back. He's supposedly put in word to Top Rank, according to Kevin Iole, that he's going that he's looking for a fight to come back at the end of the year. So it's going to be interesting to see who he fights. Once again, Devin Haney, undisputed champion of the world. Lomachenko was ranked number 1 by the WBC and WBO, but he's not mandatory for either. Ryan Garcia, he was mandatory at one point in time, but, you know, whatever, he pulled out with Javier Fortuna. At once he's supposed to fight Jojo Diaz too and pulled out, don't remember. He's ranked number 2. Jezreel Corrales is fighting, he's number 2 by the WBA. He is fighting on an undercard of Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz, September the 4th, against a Jose Venezuela. Okay. Rayo. And, you know, you got Isaac Cruz. And I'm not really ready to see Isaac Cruz versus Tank Davis 2. But remember, Ryan Garcia and Isaac Cruz, you know, there was an offer and they were mandated to fight. But Sean Gibbons and Isaac Cruz, they're deciding to stay over at Showtime. But I would have loved for Ryan Garcia and Isaac Cruz to happen over on the zone. Because I think Isaac Cruz would put a boot in his ass too. We're just going to have to see. I'm just not high on Ryan Garcia. Sorry. You know, so, but next week, you know, against Javier Fortuna, you know, hopefully that'll show me something. Hopefully. So, all right, we're at the end of the show. What's on you guys' minds? Do a little quick Q&A. Yeah, we talked about, well, we didn't talk about it, but here is the story about Anthony Joshua. Sky Sports wins UK broadcast rights to Usyk Joshua. This is a boxing scene article. Let's see. I wonder what the Zone walked away from the auction on Thursday. Sheesh. So how much is it supposed to be? 33 million? £25 million. What's that translate to? Hold on. 25 pounds to dollars.
25 pounds equals
30 million.
$30.
Okay. All right, so $30 million. So what is it? Is it it's an 80 million site fee? It's an 80 million site fee, right? For them fighting in Saudi Arabia, and they're going to split that 50-50, and then you have another 30 million right there. Whew, for TV rights. Jeez. That's crazy right there. That's wild. How important do you think Estrada and Chocolatito trilogy is? Well, you know, you got Ben Rodriguez in the mix now, but it does have to happen. But that's crazy right there. By the way, I got Usyk beating Joshua again. It's going to be on August the 20th here in the States on the Zone. Hopefully, they don't put that joint on the Zone pay-per-view over here. You think they're going to do that? I hope not, man. You know, because they did put Tyson Fury versus Dylan White on pay-per-view over here on ESPN nonetheless. Well, supposedly, this is supposed to be Anthony Joshua's The Zone deal doesn't kick in yet, but that doesn't make any sense, though, does it? Like, why would they sign him a deal before a fight he could possibly lose? Shouldn't they have waited until after, or if he beat Alexander Usyk to sign him to a deal? I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy to me. But yeah, it's going to be on Sky Sports. That's a lot of money these fighters are making. You know, can you imagine, like, did you ever imagine that Usyk could be possibly walking away with $70 million? Alexander Usyk can be one of the world's, and we're not, of course, Joshua, but we're talking about Alexander Usyk being one of the top paid Forbes athletes in the world. That's some crazy shit right there. That's some crazy shit right there. Now that right there can show you, like, if that doesn't tell you that boxing, you know, UFC don't got shit on boxing. Usyk went from being a relative United States unknown. For example, Usyk can walk around the United States right now and likely not be known. And here he is about to make fucking at least $60 million. Outrageous. Completely outrageous. So listen, guys, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for the Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev weigh-in. That's going to be at about 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be streaming that. Then at about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be here for the Mark Magsayo versus Ray Vargas weigh-in and that card weigh-in. And then at 6 p.m. tomorrow, same time as the start of the stream today tomorrow, we're going to be here for a wrap-up of all tomorrow's boxing news and weigh-in recaps. And then Saturday, we're going to be here streaming during the main event. So if you ain't doing nothing and you want to come chill with us while we're doing some commentary, drop off some donations because, you know, we got to start taking donations now. Expenses are getting high. So if you want to come hang out on Saturday for the main event of Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev possible career match, we're going to be here. And then also on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern is the start of the Showtime Championship boxing card. And we may get an announcement of some cards coming up. It's going to open up with Frank Martin, 135-pound fringe contender, taking on Jackson Marinez, the guy who fought Rolly and got, you know, the bad end of the decision. And then you're going to have Brenda Figueroa taking on Carlos Castro. That's going to be at 126 pounds. And they're saying the winner of that fight is going to take on the main event winner, Mark Magsayo versus Ray Vargas. So we're going to be streaming during that main event as well. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360. Please drop a like before you go. I'm going to edit this up into basically different videos for those who just want to watch the different topics. And that's going to be the norm going forward. Links to the WBC app powered by the Vive Network are also down below. It'd be great if you can download that for Roku, Android, Apple. And at the top of the chat is a link that says Linktree. That is a link that leads to all of my social media accounts, especially if you're on Twitter or Instagram. Not really on Instagram much, but basically you can follow me if you want. My Facebook group, and my website, FightView 360, that has our rankings updated in accordance to the sanctioning bodies. WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO, and Ring Magazine.